It's no secret that a lot of people are moving from out of state into the Raleigh, North Carolina area. And one of the cities that we are helping home buyers buy into and has become very, very popular lately is Wake Forest, North Carolina. It's a great mix between rural, easygoing lifestyle, but still having a lot of the amenities that big cities have. And so it's become very popular with a lot of people. In fact, we personally live in Wake Forest. And in fact, a good number of the real estate brokers on our team also live in Wake Forest. So today's video is the ultimate guide to everything going on in Wake Forest, so you can decide if it's a good fit for you as well. First up, let's talk about population. Wake Forest, again, has a very suburban, kind of chill vibe to it, but it's actually growing quite rapidly. There's currently about 60,000 people living in Wake Forest, and Wake Forest has added over 2,000 people a year over the last 20 years. So it's a rapidly growing city, and there's a lot going on there. The best part of this growth is that it's happened organically. It's grown from being a small town with a really good downtown vibe into a larger and larger town. It's unlike places like Holly Springs that sort of has sprung up out of nowhere and become sort of this manufactured, Disney-fied version of a town. Wake Forest is a true city, a true town with a really, really cool downtown and a lot going on. And the population growth has really benefited that in that we're getting a lot of new restaurants and businesses coming in. We'll talk about that more in a little bit on this video. So what kinds of people live in Wake Forest? Well, all kinds of people. It's a pretty diverse, pretty mixed population. Again, it's people that want the small town charm, but also want big city amenities, easy access to a lot of good restaurants and shops and things like that. It's also for people who want a larger space, maybe a bigger lot for their home, and also have that small town community feel with lots of events that go on throughout the year. It's also good for people who want to be close to Raleigh and North Raleigh, but not live in Raleigh and North Raleigh. They don't want the hustle and bustle of dealing with all of that goes on in like downtown Raleigh, but they want to have easy access to it. It's like a 20 to 30 minute drive from most of Wake Forest to downtown Raleigh. So you're able to go enjoy the restaurants and the nightclubs and the bars and whatever else shopping in downtown Raleigh without having to be all up in all that and end up with a smaller lot for your home at a larger price. As far as nearby cities go, North Raleigh, the northern section of Raleigh, is only about 15 to 20 minutes away. Youngsville's about 9 minutes, and Rollsville's only about 11 minutes away from Wake Forest. So there's a lot of opportunity to go live or go do shopping, restaurants, etc. in all of these cities without having too much of a drive time. And so to put a finer point on where Wake Forest is in the grand scheme of Wake County, which is where Raleigh is and Cary is, etc. Wake Forest is on the northern part of the county, and again, about 30 minutes from downtown Raleigh, and also about 30 minutes to the RDU International Airport from Wake Forest. Research Triangle Park is about 35 to 45 minutes away, which makes Wake Forest a bit of a commute for people that work in RTP, so you want to bear that in mind. Also, I want to stress Wake Forest is a fairly large town, so these numbers could vary depending on what part of Wake Forest you live in. For example, going to the airport could be a 30-minute drive, or it could be a 45-minute drive. It all depends on exactly where you live and what's important to you. We always recommend our clients, when they are deciding which part of the Raleigh Triangle area they want to live in, that they go to a house in a neighborhood they think they're going to want to live in, and then navigate Google Maps, Apple Maps, whatever, to the airport, to Research Triangle Park, wherever they need to be, so they get a good feel for how long the drive time is. And that's no different for Wake Forest. Again, northern Wake Forest, other parts of Wake Forest, the drive time could be further than if you lived right on the border of Raleigh and Wake Forest along the Main Street area. Also, proximity-wise, North Raleigh, which we've talked about a second ago, is very, very, very close, like literally touching Wake Forest, such that Wakefield, the big giant neighborhood with a golf course and clubhouse and all of the stuff going on, shopping, etc., that's right on the border. That area feels like part of Wake Forest. It sort of segues into, you've got this sort of North Raleigh and then this segue area and then Wake Forest. It's kind of a seamless blend, very similar to what Apex and Cary have. As far as housing goes, there's about 504 homes for sale currently in Wake Forest, and of those, 36% are new construction. This is a relatively large number for our area, so that just goes to show that a lot of new construction is going on in the Wake Forest area. Prices in Wake Forest are currently coming in up to $4,250,000. So that also tells you that a lot of the higher end building is going on in Wake Forest now that used to be going on in Raleigh and North Raleigh. And so a lot of the new construction is going into the outer areas, and Wake Forest being the next outer area, logically is going to see a lot of that high end growth. Next up, let's talk about cost of housing in Wake Forest versus the rest of the triangle. Median home price in Wake Forest is currently coming in at about $412,000, where if you look at median home price for the rest of the triangle, you're looking at about $440,000. So that would tell you that homes are less expensive in Wake Forest overall than the rest of the triangle, which is also a strong driver as to why so many people are coming to us from our YouTube channel here to buy homes, end up buying in Wake Forest. And so, of course, this means Wake Forest is less expensive than a lot of the other major cities in our area, like Cary, Apex, Holly Springs. It means that people are able to get a really nice home on a really nice piece of land without having to sacrifice a lot of the amenities that you're going to find in Cary, Apex, Holly Springs, etc. Wake Forest is also really great for people that want the North Raleigh lifestyle without the North Raleigh prices. We, again, live in Wake Forest, but we do a lot of our shopping, dining, etc. in North Raleigh. We are always at Cafe Tiramisu for Italian, Northside Bistro, which is a really, really great restaurant in North Raleigh, as well as the new Franco's Steakhouse. These are three haunts that we're at a lot, and they're only about a 18 minute drive from home. So it's super easy for us to go enjoy those things without having to deal with the prices that you'd have to pay to live super, super close to those things. And also because prices in Wake Forest are a little bit less, it's an ideal choice for first-time home buyers, especially those that don't need to take that daily commute into the Research Triangle Park. Next up, let's talk about some of the prominent neighborhoods that you can find in Wake Forest. The first one we need to tell you about is Heritage. And Heritage really helped put Wake Forest on the map. It was the first really major neighborhood that came about in Wake Forest, and it drew a lot of people into the area. This is a very large, established master plan community. It's been built out for a number of years. So buying in Heritage means you're buying a resale home, but you're also buying mature trees, well-developed neighborhood, a really great culture of that neighborhood, and really great things to do in and around that neighborhood. These are a mix of single-family homes, townhomes, and luxury homes. There is a golf course there, and for a lot of people, very importantly, there are sidewalks in Heritage. Lots of neighborhoods in our area don't have sidewalks. Tons of great amenities in this neighborhood. In addition to the golf course, you've got pools and just lots of really cool stuff to do. And again, a really, really great, strong neighborhood identity there in Heritage. This is one of those neighborhoods where people move in and they stay for a very long time. Lots of people buy in Heritage and then move to another home in Heritage if their needs grow and they need a bigger home or a smaller home, whatever. It's just one of those places that is very established that people love to live in and live there for a long time. Bottom line, for people moving from out of state and they kind of envision the lifestyle of suburbia, and it's a big reason why a lot of people moving to our area want to live in that Heritage lifestyle. Next prominent neighborhood we need to share with you is Holding Village. This is a really cool concept. It sort of feels like an infill neighborhood, meaning you've got a city that was built up and there was a spare piece of land that they built homes on, a neighborhood on. It sort of has that vibe, even though it wasn't that. It actually was a large piece of land that's been developed over time. But anyway, this has become a very major master plan community in the Wake Forest area. It's planned around a 15-acre lake, so it has a really nice view from a lot of the different homes. And all told, we'll have around 1,350 homes when it's fully built out. It's a really great mix of single-family homes, townhomes, and multifamily homes, apartments, that sort of thing. And the neighborhood was designed to have a very strong community feel and be very, very connected to both the rest of the neighborhood and the community at large. Amenities include a lake, walking trails, swimming pool, pavilion, parks, lots of green space, and community gathering spaces. This is a great, great fit for people who want new construction or newer construction, and also a really strong sense of community and connection to Wake Forest at large. Other really, really prominent neighborhoods in Wake Forest we need to tell you about include Galloway, Wexford, where we're helping a family build a new construction home right this minute, as well Hasten Tree, which is a very large gated community with a golf course as well. Bristol Run, a brand new construction neighborhood that we're helping another family build in right now. Lowry Estates, Woodleaf Cove, and Traditions, which is sort of Heritage Part 2, is a great way to explain it. These neighborhoods give you everything from high-end luxury homes to golf course communities to traditional suburban feeling neighborhoods, and everything from newer construction closer into Wake Forest, as well as more rural suburban lifestyle further out on the outer bands of Wake Forest. Next up, we need to tell you about one of the biggest commercial developments in Wake Forest that's rapidly changing the vibe of the whole town. But before we do, if you're thinking about moving to Wake Forest, our small boutique real estate firm has helped a ton of families relocate to the Raleigh area and to Wake Forest specifically. And so we are very, very familiar with all of the neighborhoods, the builders, the commute patterns, and everything about living in the Wake Forest area. Give us a call or text us at the information below, and we will be happy to set up a video call with you to get started on helping you find your ideal next home. So now let's tell you about that exciting new commercial development that we absolutely love. It's called Grove 98. It's a mixed-use community. There are townhomes, there are apartments, and shopping and restaurants and grocery in this complex. It is absolutely amazing, completely redefining what Wake Forest is like. Prior to Grove 98, Wake Forest had a lot of strip malls, and otherwise you would have to drive into Raleigh to get like shopping going on and nice restaurants. Grove 98's changed that. So you've got Wegmans grocery store, the famous chain from up north. Very, very popular. We are there literally every other day. And again, there's also apartments and townhomes and shopping. Also some really, really great restaurants in Grove 98. You've got everything from the new Outback Steakhouse and Firebirds that are coming online soon, to Kava, BB Bop, all kind of Five Guys burgers, spun off anything you can imagine. There's a nail salon, a One Medical doctor's office there, dentist office, just about anything you can imagine is right there in Grove 98. Really, really convenient for everyone in Wake Forest because of its location. We absolutely love it. There's also an O2 Fitness there where we go work out. Really, really great. It's like 30,000 square foot gym. Anyway, Grove 98 really, really changed the atmosphere around Wake Forest and has made it where people don't have to drive so far to get to a lot of the amenities that they require on a weekly basis. Next up, we need to tell you about downtown Wake Forest. We talked about it a little bit earlier on this video, but it's really the core of the town and really what draws a lot of people in to live in Wake Forest. So downtown Wake Forest is super charming. There was a time when there was not a lot going on there, but organically over time, there's been some new restaurants added. I think really it's because the population has increased. It has the historic Main Street feel that people are really, really looking for these days. And again, it feels real, not manufactured. It wasn't sort of like built overnight like Holly Springs downtown was. So you've got those 1-story and 2-story buildings that are been renovated over time that were 50, 100 years old, whatever. The buildings are mostly brick buildings down there, lots of local shops. Got everything from restaurants to breweries to coffee shops and retail shops, and all of the major events that the city of Wake Forest hold are held right there in downtown Wake Forest. Bottom line, downtown Wake Forest has got the small town feel that most people crave, but still has a lot of growing energy about it. Now, I should say, if you come and explore Wake Forest, downtown Wake Forest is not massive. It's not trying to be downtown Raleigh with go, hustle, bustle with big, tall, 20, 30-story buildings. It's really a chill downtown. It's what people think when they think small town America. There's also a lot of other options for shopping. Again, these are mostly strip malls, but you've got things like big box stores like Walmart, Target, Home Depot, Lowe's, PetSmart, Staples, on and on and on with all of the shopping that you could imagine that you're going to find in other towns this size, you're going to be able to find in Wake Forest. And also, as longtime viewers of our channel know, we rank cities based on the number of Starbucks they have. And so happy to say that Wake Forest has 3 Starbuckses plus 1 inside Target for a total of 4. And now let's answer a burning question a lot of people have when they come to us. They want our help buying a home. They say they want to live near Wake Forest University. And so let's explain what happened. Wake Forest University, well, at the time it was Wake Forest College, was in downtown Wake Forest. It's in the name, Wake Forest. It moved to Winston-Salem, North Carolina in 1956. The Reynolds family, as in Reynolds Tobacco and Reynolds Aluminum, bought the school, moved it to Wake Forest, and it has become the prominent university that it is now. That campus that still stands in Wake Forest, in downtown Wake Forest, is now the Southeastern Baptist Seminary. And so it's still being used. It's very, very charming. It's a small school, easily walkable, easily gives a good vibe to the downtown area. But that hopefully will explain to people that want to live in Wake Forest near the university, why Wake Forest University is not in Wake Forest. Next up, let's tell you about the restaurants you're going to find in Wake Forest. Now, the dining scene has definitely gotten much better over the past few years. Again, I attribute that to the population growth. Used to be, it was a very small town, McDonald's type feel to it. Things have really changed over the last few years since we've lived here even. You've got tons of really great local and national stuff in Wake Forest. You've got White Street Brewery, which is right there in downtown Wake Forest. This is a brew pub. They do tastings all the time. They have food trucks on weekends. They have events there all the time. Really great gathering spot for a lot of people from Wake Forest. As well, Cape Fear Seafood House is in Wake Forest for people who really like seafood. They're coming from Wilmington and have some destinations both in Raleigh and surrounding areas and in Wake Forest. There's also the Wake Forest Coffee Company. They have some really great coffee. Bodega, which is a really nice tapas wine bar in downtown Wake Forest. We go there every now and again. Really good food. Highly recommended. There's also the famous Over the Falls, has really good American food, burgers, sandwiches, but also meals. Snoopy's Hot Dogs is in downtown Wake Forest. One of the best hot dogs you'll have. Highly recommended if you go down that direction. Also, the Burger Shop is in downtown Wake Forest. We did a video many years ago with the top 50 burgers in the Triangle Raleigh area, and the Burger Shop in Wake Forest scored very high on that list. Amalia's Authentic Italian Restaurant is also in Wake Forest. They have Big Shock Italian food. Really good. And other really prominent restaurants in the area include Farm Table, Gonzo's Tacos and Tequila, Lone Rider at the Factory, and Las Margaritas. Plus, of course, there's a ton of restaurants in North Raleigh that you can easily get to. We've already told you Northside, Encore is also in North Raleigh, Winston's Grill, Cafe Tiramisu, Franco's Steakhouse, on and on, right there within about 15 to 20 minute drive of most folks living in Wake Forest. Next up, we need to tell you about the farmers market. Wake Forest has its own farmers market. It's located behind the Wake Forest Town Hall on South Taylor Street, downtown. You can expect to find seasonal produce, local meats, eggs, baked goods. This is really great for the whole family. It definitely adds to the atmosphere of Wake Forest. And best of all, you can get a lot of the same things that you can find at the North Carolina Farmers Market without having to take the 30 or 45 minute drive into Raleigh, into South Raleigh to get to the farmers market. And so far on this video, we've talked about a lot of restaurants and shopping and things to do sort of inside. Now we need to talk about the stuff for nature lovers, the parks and the things you can do in the outside of Wake Forest. So there are a lot of really great parks in Wake Forest for people who like to go out and hike and bike and all those sort of things. And one of the major parks is the E. Carroll Joyner Park. This is a 117-acre park with walking trails, open fields, historic farm buildings, an amphitheater, community center. It's one of the prettiest parks in the entire area, but especially in Wake Forest. Definitely in hot demand, really popular. Highly recommend you go visit Joyner Park if you come visit the Wake Forest area. There's also the J.B. Flattery Park. This is a 110-acre park, also in Wake Forest. This has baseball and softball fields, a playground, outdoor fitness court, picnic, shelter, recreational ponds, pickleball courts, and tennis courts. And the next park to tell you about is the Forest Ridge Park. This is a major lake with fishing, playgrounds, biking and hiking trails, disc golf course, and picnic shelters. This is a really great place to go for people who like fishing, and all the parks are really amazing. Again, great opportunity for people to get out. There's dog parks in Wake Forest. Just a great plethora of things for just about anybody who loves the great outdoors. You can go enjoy them in Wake Forest. Next up, let's talk about the exciting holiday events that are happening all the time in Wake Forest. Again, predominantly in downtown Wake Forest. It brings the community together. Great opportunity to meet new people or hang out with neighbors and friends that you've already met. First up, we need to tell you about Friday Night on White. This is an event that happens on Friday nights every month on White Street. White Street Brewing that we told you about earlier in this video has opened their doors. They have the food trucks, and just in general, all the merchants and restaurants along White Street are open late in the evening. It's a great community feel, and one of the top events that happens regularly in Wake Forest that draw people in from the town and really from the entire area. There's also the Independence Day celebration, which coincidentally happens early in July. Family movie nights at Joyner Park also is a regular thing that happens. Good Neighbor Day, concerts in the park, the farmers market that we told you about earlier, and of course, Christmas and Halloween events that happen downtown that happen every single year. Again, Wake Forest has a really strong community feel, and these events really help add to that. It's a great opportunity for folks to come in from all over everywhere and hang out in Wake Forest, especially downtown Wake Forest, and make new friends as well. So with all the things going on in Wake Forest, it's no wonder it's such a popular place for people to move to. And we have people all the time reach out to us from our YouTube channel here wanting to move to our area. And Wake Forest is one of the top areas that they end up moving to. If you're considering Wake Forest or really anywhere in the Raleigh Triangle area, my real estate team and I are uniquely suited to help you make that move. Contact us at the information below and we will get things started with a video call with you to make sure we're on the same page to find you the ideal home for your next destination. Check out this video. We think you're really going to like this one as well. Like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.